All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Simple Scrapper Live. This is my weekly talk show where I am coming to you to share all about memory keeping and ways to keep it simple. This week, I'm going to share a little bit about a photo book series that I've been working on for the past 4 years. And this is something that I'm really proud of. And each year when I add another book to it, I remember how much I appreciate this format for my scrapbooking. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this today is because there's some particular challenges that we have as scrapbookers. And it all really revolves around having so many photos that we want to get documented. And sometimes more traditional formats of scrapbooking, like layouts or even pocket pages, just feel a little overwhelming when it comes to getting them documented. So that's one of the reasons why I have chosen to use photo books as part of my overall scrapbooking system. So if you're new here today, my name is Jennifer Wilson and I am your guide here at Simple Scrapper. We are a community of memory keepers seeking more intentional and purposeful experiences in the hobby. And we do that by leveraging all the tools and resources that are available, and even more importantly, helping each other one-on-one in events like this one. There's a great chat room over here. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, pop over and use the link to visit us on Crowdcast, where you can ask questions and participate in the live chat. And through everything else we do at Simple Scrapper, including our membership. Our membership is our ongoing 24/7 community of women who feel just as passionately about scrapbooking as you do. And each month we have new content, including a members-only PDF magazine that I am incredibly proud of because our team does such a wonderful job of it. And you can find a link directly below my video if you're here on Crowdcast to learn more about the membership. And so that's just a little bit about me, and let's dive in today. So what I'm curious about is, first of all, have you ever made a photo book? And wherever you are, I'd love for you to comment, whether you're on Crowdcast, YouTube, or Facebook. Go ahead and give a comment to let us know whether or not you've made a photo book before. And I've taken a look at some of the questions, and some of you may be wondering, what actually is a photo book? And I know that I was creating photo books before I was ever really a scrapbooker. I was making them, I think the first one I made was probably with Shutterfly, and then I know I made some with directly from Apple Photos back when it was using iPhoto. And they are photos and sometimes words put into a book, printed and bound and mailed to you. And some of them, especially in more recent years, they even have more decorative things that you can add to them, especially the Shutterfly templates. There's various ways that you can go to theme or relate that to whatever stories you're telling. And I've been using photo books as a way to get lots of photos in one album, because if you go on a large vacation or you want to scrapbook a big period of time, or I even did a photo book for my wedding because there were so many photos and I didn't want to go the direction of doing a traditional scrapbook because A, it's a lot of photos, and B, sometimes these memories, they feel important. The larger the scale, either of a single event or the larger the scale of time, it just feels like too much. And you want to make sure you're honoring those photos and those stories in the right way. And for me, using a photo book is a kind of a simple and minimalist way to do that. So, and then a series of photo books would mean multiple books. I have 4 right here in this particular series. It's multiple books along a similar theme. And I'll tell you guys in a second what these are all about. If you've been around here a while, you may have seen the very first 2 books of these. And then later this week, I will do a blog post that follows up this video and shares what all 4 of those look like together, because now I have 4 of them. Real quick here, I'm going to check and see how the conversation is going over here on Crowdcast. We're using this Crowdcast platform. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I think it's great that folks can ask questions, and we also have a separate chat area. And looks like we've got 36 of you joining us live, and I know we have well more than 100 registered. So whether or not you're participating live or you're viewing this in the replay, I want to thank you all so much for being here today. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and answer one of these questions. We have one from Marie here. And she says, I like the finished products of photo books and the easy way to scrapbook a lot of photos, but she doesn't like to do them. And does she have any advice on how to make it fun or how to actually enjoy doing them? And I think that's where I'm going to seg to my example here, because I have made these photo books with Artifact Uprising, and they're both an app for iPhone, for Apple devices, or even iPad, or they're a website. So, and I have done photo books using both. And these are the 5.5 by 5.5 size. And I'll see if I can zoom in so you guys can see that. Probably can't. It's a little too bright. It actually says Emily Jane Wilson, that's my daughter, age 1. And so each year, age 2, age 3, and age 4. So I have one book for each of her age year. So they go from birthday to birthday, which since her birthday is in August, that works out really well for giving these as gifts. And one of the biggest questions I always receive is how do you deal with family members or even multiple children or grandparents who want copies of your photos? And every year I make this book, and then I print 3 of them, one to keep and then one for each set of grandparents. So to go into Marie's question, she doesn't like making photo books. Well, I want to encourage you to try an even simpler approach. I have definitely made photo books in the past that took a lot of time and planning, particularly ones for a vacation where you want to make sure that all the right things are together, and if you're adding words, it could be a big endeavor, similar to a regular scrapbook, just without all the supplies. But these photo books are so simple because all they have is photos on the inside. So some of them are full page, and you can see some of them have a border. Their Artifact Uprising has other options. See, we can even do smaller photos here. And this is why this particular event has minimalist in the title, because this is truly minimalist scrapbooking. This is a highlights of her entire year in a way that is compact, it's shareable, and it was easy to create, because Artifact Uprising, and I call it slurping, it's not a technical term, they can connect to your Instagram account. And I believe they can even connect to your Facebook account so that you can automatically bring in photos that you've already shared. And for me, that's been the quickest way to get this done. So I use almost exclusively photos directly from my Instagram account. And then maybe I'll upload a few additional photos, like this one for the cover, that I took with another camera. Or to supplement if I feel like something major is missing. Now in these books, and you can see, I don't know if you can see here, some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller than others, but they're all about the same. They're, you know, I think they're 30 to 40 pages each. And I don't worry about being totally comprehensive. I don't worry about making sure that every single thing from the year is in there. To me, it's like a highlights reel. It's not the encyclopedia of what happened. I have my full photo library and my other scrapbooks that go into more detail. These are some of the best pictures, some of the best moments, the ones that I felt worthy of sharing on social media, all tied up into this neatly compact book. Now, I know that some of you might be wondering, why is there no journaling? And to me, that's a very personal choice, that I didn't feel like this particular distribution mechanism of photos, if you will, needed journaling. But you could certainly add it with this software or any other photo book software. And you can even use this white space to add your own journaling by hand if you wanted to do that as well. So it's always an option. For this particular series of books, I chose not to, because I enjoy them as a part of the rest of my scrapbooking, which does have a lot of journaling in it otherwise. So my answer to Marie is that I understand that some photo books can be a little overwhelming. So the best thing to do is to try to simplify so that you're still happy with the process? What is the simplest solution that still really meets your needs, that fills you up, and is totally doable so that you can get it finished in a realistic amount of time? And for me, that's this minimalist photo book. And for you, it might look like something different. But I want to encourage you to try new things and to try ways of streamlining the process using repeated designs again and again, such as this one. There's basically two different types of photos. There's ones with borders and ones that are full page. That's about it. That helps as well. And then also to streamline your source of photos. If I was using all of my photos for an entire year for each of these books, it would take a lot more time. But instead, I was able to create this last book in about 20 minutes. And I don't think I can really say that for much other parts of my scrapbooking. Now it took me another 20 minutes to go look for a coupon code in order to actually place the order, but making the book itself didn't take very much time, and that's one of the reasons why I love this as part of my hobby. All right, let's check on some other questions here. All right. Here's just a quick logistical question. Sue asked, will this be available on YouTube? Yes, all episodes of Simple Scrapper Live are automatically being streamed to Facebook. Hi, Facebook folks, and YouTube. Hi, YouTube folks. And recorded there. And this video as well is immediately available as a replay. So if you tune in for another episode, you can know that they're automatically being recorded and that video will be available immediately afterwards. All right. All right, here's a more technical question. So Lucy asks, do you sort all of your photos into the respective topics for each page before loading them into the book? And do you design the layout for each individual page or use already designed layouts? So I have done some of both of those things for some of my other photo books, particularly if I'm doing a vacation or something like that. I use folders on my computer and make copies of photos kind of on my desktop or in a kind of a temporary area to say, these are the photos for page 1, or at least series of pages 1, like section 1, and then another folder for section 2, and so on until I have all of my photos divided up. So that's definitely something I would do. The more photos you have, the more you're going to want to do that. For these particular books, they were entirely chronological from birthday to birthday. So this was the first day of school. So this is right after her birthday. And then this was actually her birthday morning the following year. So they go birthday to birthday. And I knew they were chronological, so I just had to make sure I was dragging things around in a chronological way. In terms of designing the page, I have certainly done both types where I'm designing the page fully myself. I've done that in Lightroom, I've done that in Photoshop, or I've also used pre-made templates within whatever photo book software. Often I have in mind where I want to make the book first, and then I work backwards from there. So I figure out where I want to have the book printed, what kind of look and feel I'm going for, and then I look to see what kind of pre-made options they have, and I see if there's one that meets my needs, and if there is, I use that. And then if there's not, that's when I look to see, do I need to design something myself that I can then upload as a full page that's designed. So there's certainly a range of options from, this is really the minimalist, the most simple, the quickest, to something that's a lot more complicated and a lot more involved. All right. So Carrie says, is it bound like chapbooks? Does it lay flat? So I would not say these are lay flat. They are perfect bound with a glue binding. I would not say they lay flat. If I really tried to stretch it, I probably could get them, but I haven't tried. They're reasonably durable. I have let my daughter look through them. I share them with others. The ones that my mother-in-law has get thumbed through a lot more, and those are still holding up quite well. So I've been very happy with that. All right. So I think the main difference between Artifact Uprising and Chatbooks is totally automated. And while you do have some control, there's kind of some limited options, whereas Artifact Uprising gives you that next baby step of options. And you can add text to individual pages, I recall, but you can't add captions directly on a photo. And that was at my last recollection, and this is only via the website. At last time I used the app for Apple devices, you cannot add text via the app. But that may have changed because things are always being upgraded. All right. This is so fun. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I have a few more points to make. I'm going to do a last call for questions. Please use the Ask a Question button that's red if you're here on Crowdcast so that I can make sure to see it, because you guys are pretty chatty in the chat area, which is so awesome. I kind of want to just do a little rundown here of how I make some of these decisions. You know, I was mentioning just a couple minutes ago about I'm looking at the end purpose first, but that's after I've decided that it's a photo book. What's the step before that? And is the photo book the best option for you? And for me, some of the time, the answer is yes. For you, it could be a lot of the time, it could be all of the time, or it could be never, that photo books just aren't your thing. What I want to most encourage you to do is when you're starting a project, you're thinking about a group of memories, whether that's for a year, it's for a particular event, it's for a span of years, or it's a specific thematic story you want to tell, such as, you know, baseball games, something like that. I want you to think about what's the best format for this. What's going to make sure that I don't feel overwhelmed? What's going to make sure that I can finish it? And most importantly, what is going to actually be fun to create? And you're always looking for that option that's at the intersection of those different concepts, because it's when one of those is misaligned, that's when you end up procrastinating and not finishing things and feeling frustrated. And that's not what we want at all. We want you to be happy and productive scrapbookers. And so you're looking for those options where what's the most optimal thing for you right now in this season of your life. All right. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here today. Again, the Simple Scrapper Live is our brand new weekly series. I am so much looking forward to hearing what other topics that you would like to have me share here in these live videos. And I am excited to come back next week, where we're going to be talking a little bit more about photo books as part of a larger discussion on how to scrapbook your vacations. So I'm going to be sharing a variety of projects that I've done for my vacations in all different formats, and to give you some new ideas for scrapbooking those big trips that you're taking this summer and the ones you've taken in previous summers and still haven't scrapbooked. So thanks so much for being here today. I look forward to chatting with you guys again soon. Bye-bye.